Hello, my name is Matthew Phifer. Thank you and welcome to my YouTube channel. On my channel, I talk about toxic relationships and I help people move on and help people heal from those toxic relationships, help people grow, set boundaries. We talk about self-love and also help recognize what toxic relationships look like. And that can be in a romantic setting, that can also be in a workplace dynamic, or maybe it is in a family setting. So I receive emails from people, I read the emails, and we talk about and we dissect everything that they're going through, and we talk about how this person can actually move forward. So if you want my help, if you go to the links down below, you can see my membership program. I have courses, I have a book that's out. All those are linked down below. You can also email me if you have a question that you would like for me to answer right here on the YouTube channel. Just make sure that the email is 2 to 3 paragraphs max, and you're very direct and to the point of what your question actually is, because if it's too long, I can't read it. I can't get through everything. So 2 to 3 paragraphs max, being very direct and to the point of what your question actually is. With all that being said, let me get into today's email. And so today she wrote, Matt, I love your calm approach to the details with narcissists. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. My former chiropractor and coach is a covert narcissist. And if anyone knows about covert narcissists, and I've talked about covert narcissism on this channel before, they can be very insidious. It is very difficult to depict whether or not someone is a narcissist, especially when they're covert. And this is the type of job that's very common for a covert narcissist to select. Not saying that all chiropractors are coverts, but it can happen. And this email continues. We had what I thought was an affair, but it turns out he was doing this with many of his patients / athletes. Some of us frequently trained together, started to recognize a pattern of abuse: grooming, love bombing, devalue and discard, gaslighting, future promising, right? Some people call that future faking, a smear campaign, etc. A number of us filed a sexual abuse complaint with his regulatory body, and he lost his license. Good for you for standing up for yourself. Good for you for speaking up. Good for you for setting a boundary. This is what a good, healthy boundary looks like in this type of situation. The email continues. He continues to play the victim, which is very true, not just of covert narcissists, but of all narcissists. Right? There always has to be a winner. There always has to be a loser. Every single time. Always a winner, always a loser. But if they're the loser, they turn around and they position themselves as a victim. That's what narcissists do. The reason why they do that is that that's the best way that they can regain some control, is to play victim and turn this into a pity party, right? And have people cater to them, to their victimhood. So this is very, very common. And we're going to circle back to that here in a second. Recently, he and his wife tried to contact the women in the case, accusing them of posting on Reddit and threatening to go public with the names and details of the case, personal texts and emails. So what is this, right? This is a smear campaign, right? This is a smear campaign, and this is a very common tactic from people who are NPD, people who are narcissistic, and also people who are toxic, right? Is that they start not only a smear campaign, but they begin to make all these threats of sending out emails, personal texts, because they were exposed. Now all of a sudden they need to expose you as well, a tit for tat, right? That now I need to expose you, right? So this email continues. There have been further anonymous attempts to access other social media accounts on IG, LinkedIn. This person says, I want to get a lawyer to send a cease and desist letter. Other women are worried that would provoke them, right? So the other women are worried that if this person that wrote this email sends a cease and desist letter, that it's going to provoke the narcissist. And so we're going to circle back to that here in a second. Is this contact just providing him with narcissistic supply? Right? I've been strictly no contact for 2 years. Or is this setting a boundary? Obviously, I have poor boundaries, or I wouldn't be writing you. I'm in therapy to get help with that. Thanks for your advice. So the answer to this, right? So going back to the question in terms of sending this cease and desist letter, we have to talk about, I'm not telling you not to do it, right? But let's answer a couple of different questions that you asked. Is sending a cease and desist letter a boundary? Yes, it is. However, when we send a cease and desist letter to someone who is healthy, someone who is non-narcissistic, let's keep this in mind for a second, right? Let's circle back to the beginning. We have to, when we're setting a boundary, if we're going to do this, we have to put this into full perspective. This man has already lost his license. He has already been outed to his wife. Right? If he's lost his license, he's likely lost his job. He's lost a lot of narcissistic supply because other women have come forward. He's probably been shamed in the community, shamed in his industry. Right? So let's be realistic here. What is a cease and desist letter going to do? If those things did not stop him, if he still wants to continue, and this is very true of narcissists anyway, the letter is likely not going to do anything either. If he's already lost his license, if he has an enabling wife, right? If he has, if people already know what's going on, he's already been shamed, right? So we have to understand, what is it that the narcissist wants? This person wants your fear, right? These are fear tactics. This is common. These are common tactics that are also used by, guess what? Terrorists, right? Several years ago, 15, 20 years ago, terrorists used to do this exact thing. They would kidnap reporters. They would say, if you don't give us what we want, we're going to chop off all the heads of these reporters. And guess what? We did not give them what they wanted. Guess what? 2021, they don't do that anymore. Why? It didn't work. They didn't get the fear. They didn't get the demands. Nothing worked. We didn't give them exactly what you mentioned, the fuel, right, for their supply. We didn't give them the fear. We just didn't do anything, right? Ultimately, this decision is yours because you were a victim of something that was horrendous. However, I can tell you, if you're asking me based on NPD, right, based on someone who is engaging this type of behavior, in particular on the pattern that he's already shown, a cease and desist letter is not going to do shit. So if you decide that you want to send a cease and desist letter, you need to know what next steps are like. What is going to happen after that? Because it's more likely that your friends, right, the other people that were a part of this situation, it's more likely that they're correct, that this is going to provoke them, and that this is exactly what this person wants. This person wants you to come after them, right? It's a very upside down way of thinking. This person wants you to come out of hiding. This person wants to shame you. This person wants to do these things. Right? This person wants revenge. In my opinion, right, and of course, because there's some legalities here, you're definitely 100% talk to your lawyer, because I'm not a lawyer, but you should leave this alone, right? The reason why I say this is that what else can you get from this? Because keep in mind, right, this person has already lost her license, already been outed, already lost everything. There's nothing else that we can gain from this. All this person wants, all this chiropractor wants, is the fight. All they want is the chaos, right? And quite often when we give them that chaos, the only person who falls victim is ourselves, right? Obviously, if this person continues to escalate, you may need to escalate things. But you need to have a conversation with your lawyer on what happens, not if, but when this person does not abide by this cease and desist letter. What would next steps look like? Because that's what's going to happen, right? And if you're not comfortable with what those next steps are, then I would consider not doing anything, right? in a lot of situations, this possibly being one of them, a lot of times it is best to walk away from the narcissist completely, leave it alone, and quite often when they're not getting the reaction that they want from you, that's when they leave it alone, because that's exactly what they want. They don't care about court. Notice what's happening. He doesn't care that he lost his license, doesn't care about court. He wants your reaction. He wants payback. He wants that emotional reaction from you. Right? Quite often when we don't give them that, that's when they start to realize and they start to walk away, because they're not getting the desired result. So thank you very much. I appreciate you writing in. It was a pleasure. I'm also sorry that you're going through this. Also, for those of you who are watching, once again, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you're notified each and every single time I upload a new video. If you want my help, make sure you go down below. You can see my membership program where we have different conversations. If you need help from me, the membership program is the best way. You can be a part of my podcast, our conversations. You can listen, watch different videos that I upload. Also, if you need help, if you need a therapist, I have links to connect to online therapy, where you can get 20% off of your first month of therapy. And you can see a lot of other links down below if you want my help or the help of anyone else. So thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video.